Today is Saturday, which means it is park run day, and I'm going to be taking on the hardest park run I have ever done, and that is Cleland PARKRUN. With a total elevation gain of 169 metres, this is not one for getting a PB. So I'm going to be telling you everything that you need to know about this park run in the video, whilst also trying to get the fastest time possible. So let's get into it. So let's start off with where this park run is located. So it is within South Australia, and it is southeast from the Adelaide CBD within the Adelaide Hills. The park run starts off at 8 AM and it is a simple out and back lap on very hilly terrain, and it is also all on trail paths. So if you've got any, I recommend wearing trail shoes to this park run. It is also useful to note that the course is not buggy and pram friendly. It is not dog friendly either. However, there are public toilets just 5-minute walk from the start, so they are located within the car park. It is a nice and quiet park run too, with just 37 runners on the day, and it really had that sort of locals and community feel to the park run. In terms of whether you're going to get a PB or not, you are definitely not going to get a PB unless this is the first run which you have ever done, because this one is really difficult, and you'll see just how hard it is a bit later on when we go through the run. This park run is also amazing in terms of the scenery. So not only did we get to run alongside some kangaroos, but once you hit that far end before doing the U-turn, you actually get panoramic views of the Adelaide city, the suburbs, and you can even see the sea from there too. They were incredible. Some of the best views I have seen of Adelaide. And then also, once you finish the park run, if you wanted to, there is Cleland Wildlife Park located right next to the parking for the park run. And if you go in there, you actually get to feed some of the wildlife too. So you get to feed the kangaroos, the wallabies. They've also got dingoes, koala bears, 2 in there, wombats, echidnas, so much wildlife. So if you want to go and check my vlog out for that, you can go and check it on the @Sheppy10 channel. So I'll leave a link to that in the description below too if you wanted to go there straight after. But before we do go any further, if you don't know what a park run is, it is essentially a 5K run ran by a group of volunteers. They both time and marshal the event. When you hit the finish line, you'll be given a finish token. That'll be scanned alongside your personalised barcode, and then you'll be emailed your finish time and position later on. But now it is time to take a look through the course. And as you'll see in the top left-hand corner, the first 2.5 kilometres is pretty much all downhill, apart from the Sugarloaf Hill, where you run up to get the amazing panoramic views. You then do that U-turn and head your way all the way back along the exact same path, with a max elevation of 504 metres at the top and an elevation gain of 169 metres. So this is going to be challenging today. That is a quick summary of the course, and I'm now going to take you through it in some more detail. So you're going to start off here by the Cleland Wildlife Park and head your way towards the northwest. So this is all downhill along the Long Ridge track. You'll then turn off to the left, and this is into a woodland area. So there may be like tree roots, loose stones too. So do be careful in this section not to trip over. So you're going to come back all the way around and head back onto the Long Ridge track. This is again all downhill until you hit this section here where the winter track joins at the Long Ridge track, and then it is a steep uphill climb up Sugarloaf Hill. So once you get up to the top here, and I have to say that is not an easy climb, you will have a look out over the Long Ridge lookout, and you get incredible views of the Adelaide CBD and the sea in the background too. So you'll do that U-turn, and then you'll head your way all the way back down Sugarloaf Hill and then back up the other side along Long Ridge track. Do make sure to look out for kangaroos too. We saw about 10 to 15 of them just chilling on the side of the track too, all wild, so it was really cool to see all of them. So you then turn back off to the right-hand sides, go back around that woodland area, back onto the Long Ridge track again, and then you'll head your way up towards that finish line. Now, this one is a struggle. It's a nice and simple course, just out and back, one path, you can't really go wrong. But in terms of on the way back, it is really difficult. So I definitely recommend not going out too quickly, because I went out pretty quick, as you'll see in just a second, and maybe try and preserve a little bit of energy for the way back, because you'll see in just a moment how difficult this park run actually is. And now it is time to take a look through Cleland PARKRUN's records. So starting off with the fastest male, which is Fraser Darcy with a time of 17 minutes and 16 seconds, which is unreal for this park run. The fastest female is Lauren Rook with a time of 21 minutes and 29 seconds. So it sounds slow for a record, but wait until you see the run. The average number of runners is 36, so it's a nice and quiet and local park run. And then the average time is 37 minutes and 45 seconds, which has to be one of the slowest average times I think I have ever seen. And now let's take a look at some times which are not quite as quick as those park run records. So they are my overall park run stats. Starting off with the number of park runs, which is 87. My number of locations is 63, so those two will go up by 1 today. My best finish position is 4th, which was set in Zielony Jar in Poland, and my fastest times there are 22:32 all the way down to 23:09. But there is no chance today that Cleland Parkrun is getting on this leaderboard. And now we are at the bit which you have all been waiting for, event number 379 of Cleland Parkrun. And as you can see from the screen right now, it is a pretty quiet one with just locals, and I believe we may have been the only tourists there on the day. The director was just going through a couple of things, and he was letting us know that Eucalypts Cafe is the one which they go to after the event for their breakfast and coffee at the moment. But now we're getting towards the start line, and we're going to be setting off in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Cleland Parkrun number 379 begins, and it's a quick start. Oh! The guy lost his sunglasses already, so he's going to have to turn around and pick those up. So it's not the best of starts. I don't think I noticed on the day, to be honest. He just turned around and I didn't even know why. But Orange Top is all out in the lead right now. He is flying downhill, and it is all downhill to begin with too, which is always nice to see. And as you can see, it's all on this trail path for most of it, apart from the woodland area, which I'll show you once we do get to there. There we go, he's caught back up again, so he's now going to be trying to catch that leader. But if you do want any more information on any of the elevation or on my times, then do make sure to check my Strava, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. Coming up to that half-kilometre point, and as you can see, we're turning off left into the woodlands. There's a couple of cones and an arrow which points you into this direction. And as I was saying earlier, you do need to be careful with the terrain in this point, because there are like tree roots, puddles to dodge too. So do make sure that you are wary of those and you don't just trip over in this section, because that will be not a nice fall. Also look out for kangaroos from here onwards. This is the sort of sections which you do see the kangaroos. So there's that puddle which I was on about to dodge off to at the left hand side. Currently running at about a 4:50 pace, so not doing too bad at all, especially bearing in mind there was a little bit of uphill in there too. And now we're going to be making our way all the way downhill from here. I don't think there's any more uphills apart from once you get to that far end when you go up Sugarloaf Hill. But if you are enjoying this one, do make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you are finding this useful too. We do try and get one out each week, and I'm just a small channel trying to grow, so every subscriber does help, and it is completely free to subscribe, so I'd appreciate it if you did. But now we're going to make our way back around this section off to the left and then back towards the ridge track. And there we are, back on the Long Ridge track. Smile for the photo too, because there's usually a volunteer in that section ready to pounce and take a photo of you there. It's getting slightly steeper now, the downhill too, so it's speeding us up a little bit, which is good news. Currently running at about a 4 minute and 40 pace, and we're just about to hit kilometre number 1, which we did at a pace of 4:42, so not bad at all. But in a few moments, I'll be able to show you the first kangaroo which we spot on our run. And here they are coming up on our left-hand side. Not just one kangaroo, but there was 4 in a group here on the left. Really cool to see the Australian wildlife actually in the wild and not just at a zoo or a wildlife park. There's me doing a quick check off my left shoulder just to make sure that I was actually seeing correctly that there were kangaroos just chilling out there. And apparently sometimes they can actually run across you whilst you're running. So I'd have been petrified if I had seen that, especially after on one of the previous ones, I jumped over a twig, mistaking it for a snake. So honestly, if I see any wildlife at the moment here in Australia, it freaks me out, but they are cute, the little kangaroos and wallabies. This section's a little bit flat rather than downhill, so at the moment we're not running quite as quickly as we would like to be, but do make sure to preserve some energy because the way back is 10 times harder. Coming up to 1.5 kilometers into the run, and you'll begin to see some amazing views there in the background. So just wait until we hit the Sugarloaf Hill, which you might actually be able to see in the background too, on the left-hand side, just sort of below the wires, which you can see there as well. You sort of run on your own for most of this too, because it's such a quiet park run. The gaps between the runners is way bigger than when you go to all the busy park runs, which is obvious. The grey top man's there out in front, and then behind me there was quite a big gap there too, but we're doing well still, running at a slightly quicker pace now of around 4 minutes and 25 seconds. So this kilometre could be a pretty quick one. And now that is kilometre 2 complete. Running that one at a time of 4 minutes and 18 seconds, which is probably one of the fastest kilometres I have ever run, and that is because it is all downhill. Now, when we went through the course, I mentioned the point where winter track met with the track which we're on, and that is this section here. So you can see off to the left-hand side, that is winter track. So it's still a little bit more of a downhill, but that hill in front of us is what we're going to have to run up in just a moment. So that is when it begins to get hard. So let's make our way down to the hill where the pain begins. I do also remember that in this section it is pretty rocky on foot, so again, do be careful about tripping over, as you don't want to stack it and injure yourself. So just be careful in this section as we now make our way uphill. So you'll see the elevation changing in that bottom right hand corner. You've seen it's already dropped from like 504 all the way down to 363. So we've got all of that yet to come on the way back up, but now we are pushing our way up. There's a couple of public there doing a little walk too, so do be careful of the public, not to obviously run into them. So we're going to obviously dodge off to this left hand side, and now it is the push up to the top of Sugarloaf Hill for some incredible views. The orange top man is already on his way home. Fair play to him, and I actually did see him run back down after he'd finished the park run, so fair play to him. And we have made it to the top of Sugarloaf Hill. Just take a look at those unbelievable views. This is the point where I was whipping my phone out to get some incredible photos of the view. It's a shame because Beth wasn't actually doing the run on the day. She usually gets the photos for me, but she was injured today, having to dodge under the tree there, make sure we don't get taken out by any of the branches. And now we are heading our way back. So that is half the park run complete. That is the easy half too. And what you can see ahead of us is the hill / the ridge, which we are going to have to climb once we get back to the bottom of this Sugarloaf Hill. But definitely look out to the left there. You don't want to miss those panoramic views. They were probably some of the best views which I have ever seen. And although this park run is really difficult, it's probably one of my favourite park runs which I have ever done. Again, be careful of the rocks on your way down here and take it nice and easy because you've got a long way uphill to go. So you know how usually you can't see hills on a camera? Well, on this one, you can see the hill. So that shows just how hard it is. We've almost hit that 3 kilometre point and we are now pushing our way up. So it's gone back down to 363 metres and we're heading all the way up to 504 metres of elevation. So we're pushing our way up the hill, which we have just come down, and hopefully we won't have to stop and walk, but I can see that coming up very shortly. So kilometre 3, 5 minutes and 15, a lot slower than our first 2 kilometres, but you can see why, as this is now uphill. And at 3.1 kilometres, this is the first bit where I've had to start walking. The lactic acid was building up in the quads and I thought, I just can't do it, I'm gonna have to walk. This is the second time ever that I've had to walk at a park run. I had to do it in Cheltenham years and years ago when I first started doing park run, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't keep running up this hill, and I thought loads of people were gonna, well, I say loads of people because there's not actually that many people who are there on the day, but I thought some people might overtake me in this section, and I looked round and they were walking too. So you can see just how difficult this one is, and maybe if we paced ourselves better, it might have been easier, but I just think that once you hit a hill, if the hill's too difficult, you're not going to be able to continue running up it. I can see the guy ahead of me too was walking just a second ago, but he is jogging again. So we're going to pick it up again and hopefully we can start catching up with them. We are now at 3.5 kilometers and we've already gone up over 50 meters of elevation to get to this point. So you can see just how difficult that section was. We're currently running, well I say running slash walking at a pace of around 7 minutes per kilometer too. So not ideal whatsoever. It's a lot of stop start at the moment from me and also at the grey top in front. Both of us just keep stopping, doing a little bit of a walk and then jogging again. So you'll probably find that you will have to do that too, unless you're an elite runner, and fair play if you can run all the way back up the hill. So Orange Top is probably finishing around now, to be honest. It was that quick on that turnaround, but we're still pushing our way up, going at about 7:30 minutes per kilometre. So we'll check in at 4 kilometres and see just how well we did that one. We have now hit kilometre 4 at a pace of 7 minutes and 45 seconds per kilometre. So we had one of our fastest kilometres ever, and now we've got one of our slowest kilometres ever too. We've just passed the kangaroos again too. And here is Beth, who actually just walked down, showed me where the kangaroos were, and I was telling her just how difficult this one was and how thankful to her she was for missing it, because if she had done this one, she would have struggled as well, and I wouldn't have heard the end of it for making her do this one. But we're still pushing our way uphill. We're on about 460 meters of elevation now, so we've gone up another 100, which is pretty good, and we've still got 50 meters ish left to climb. So we'll keep going. Caught up a little bit to the grey top man, but he's now pulled away again, and we're having to walk because we are struggling. The legs just don't want to keep going, but the brain does. And with half a kilometre to go, a runner's actually just overtaken us. So you may have seen them just slip past us on that right-hand side. We're back in that woodland area, being careful of all of the points which you can trip up on, but we're currently pushing our way up the hill, and he spurred us on a little bit to just keep going and make it to the end. I'll be pretty proud of myself once I have finished this one, especially if I can do it in under 30 minutes, as that was the target, as I was thinking this is going to be very difficult, and I was right. This one was definitely the hardest one which I've ever done. Coed Kevin Pludi in Wales was now the second hardest, and that one I thought was difficult. But now we're making our way back onto that ridge track for that final 500 meters up to that finish line. And now you might be able to see in the distance, that is the finish line. So we end up with a 6-minute 32-ish final kilometre. So we did actually pick it up slightly from the kilometre number 4. But we are pushing our way to the finish. As soon as we get there, we can stop. And that is the park run complete. But no, we've just been overtaken by someone else there right at the end who's pacing it past. Fair play to them. They must have saved some energy for that sprint finish. But we're going to cut off to the grass on this left-hand side, and we're going to get a time of which potentially is under 29. It is 28 minutes and 50 seconds and a position there of 8th place. So I'm actually buzzing about that. I'm really proud that I actually managed to complete this park run in under 30 minutes and also in under 29 minutes too, which I just did not expect whatsoever. So happy with that time of 28 minutes and 50 seconds. This is definitely by far the hardest park run I have ever done, and if you ever get the opportunity to do it, I recommend giving it a go. It's a really good challenge. You get amazing views. I really enjoyed it despite the fact it was this difficult. But now let me take you through a summary of Cleland Parkrun. That is Cleland Parkrun complete, ticking off the 11th C of the alphabet challenge. So C right now is right out in front of all of the other letters, with S being in second position. In terms of whether you're going to get a PB at this course, no chance. If you manage to get a PB at this course, let me know down in the comment section below, unless it is your first ever run which you have done. Also, in terms of how busy it is nice and quiet too, full of locals, all in really high spirits. And I do want to say a massive thank you too to all of the volunteers who were there on the day, because without them, this park run does not go ahead. And it was a really nice and friendly and fun, warm atmosphere too. The scenery though is definitely what makes this park run, from seeing those kangaroos whilst you're running to getting unbelievable panoramic views at the top of Sugarloaf Hill. The whole of it was just really good fun. But now, as I always do, I'm going to take you through a couple of the pinch points. These are the points which are going to slow you down and stop you from getting that PB time. Starting off with pinch point number 1, which is extremely hilly. So very hilly is the highest category on the 5K app, but I'm going to put it just one above that at extremely hilly. You just could not get much hillier than the course which we have done today. Pinch point number 2 is going to be the fact it's on like trail paths and it's a little bit rugged in sections, so that's going to slow you down too, instead of if it was nice concrete paths and you could just run down nice and quickly. And then pinch point number 3 is going to be the U-turn at the top end. Although it's nice and swooping U-turn, I did have to duck under some trees and stuff too to actually get around the U-turn. So that obviously took just a couple of seconds off of our time. But you go into this park run for the scenery and the fun of giving yourself a challenge at Cleland Park Run. You're not going for that PB, so I wouldn't worry about any of those today. But if you do have any pinch points of your own, then do make sure to let us know down in the comments section below, and I'll try and make sure to pin them up to the top so that everyone else can see them. And now we're going to move into the tips and tricks section. So how do you get to this park run? And more importantly, where do you go for that post-park run coffee? So let's start off with public transport. Unfortunately, for this event, there is no train, no tram, and no bus which actually gets you to this park run. So there's a bus which goes to Cleland Wildlife Park, but unfortunately, it doesn't run early enough to actually get you from the city or from the surrounding areas to the park run. So unfortunately, the only way of getting here is via car. So thankfully, there is a car park 5 minutes from the start within the Cleland Wildlife Park. And as I said earlier, I definitely recommend going to that wildlife park after the park run if you want to go and see some of the Aussie wildlife in its natural habitat. And you also get to go and feed some kangaroos and wallabies too, which is really cool. And then finally, the most important part, where to go for that post-park run coffee. So I believe at the start, they said that they go to the Eucalypts Cafe. So that is about a 10 to 15 minute drive to get there. But it'd be great if one of the run directors or volunteers could let us know down in the comments section below, so I can pin it to the top so that everybody else knows too. And it might change sometimes too by the sounds of it. So maybe it's worth just on the day speaking to a volunteer or the director and just seeing where they go, and you can go and join in with them. Unfortunately, we didn't join in because we then headed straight over to the Cleland Wildlife Park, so it's up to you what you want to do on the day. So those are my tips and tricks, and I hope you do find them useful. But now we're going to look at our after run stats, where not much has changed apart from the number of park runs and locations increases to 88 and 64 respectively. The best finish position and all my fastest times stay exactly the same, and we didn't expect them to change today because it was such a difficult park run. So thank you very much again to Cleland Park Run for giving me my slowest ever park run time. And if you've got this far, you must have enjoyed this video review of Cleland Park Run. So I'd really appreciate it if you smash that subscribe button, as it does go a long way to supporting the channel as I try and grow and make better and better videos for all of you. Also, if you did enjoy this one, I recommend going and watching last week's, which was at Torrens Park Run, which was actually in the Adelaide CBD, so you got to see it up close rather than from a distance. Or you can go and check out all of my other park runs in the Worldwide Park Run playlist, which has them from all over Europe, few in Asia too, and now we've obviously got the ones in Australia as well. Next week though, we're going to be heading over to West Beach Park Run, so hopefully we can get a much quicker time than we did today. So I do hope you all enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all next week with another park run video.